But I don't like when people, when they have some kind of status and they go in and they do politics at the same time what they're doing.
Known for his outspoken nature and discourteous behaviour wherever he went during his 21-year-long professional career, Swedish football star Zlatan Ibrahimovic isn't afraid to say whatever's on his mind. The 39-year-old was able to grab the world's attention once again for non-sporting reasons after suggesting Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James to focus on playing basketball rather than indulging himself in political issues. In an interview with Discovery Plus Sport in Sweden on Thursday, Ibrahimovic, who played in the Major League Soccer for Los Angeles Galaxy before moving to AC Milan, said sportspersons like James should not jump into politics and stick to doing what they know best. LeBron is phenomenal at what he's doing, but I don't like when people have some kind of status, they go and do politics at the same time, Ibrahimovic told UEFA for Discovery Plus in Sweden. Do what you're good at. Do the category you do. I play football because I'm the best at playing football. I don't do politics. If I would be a political politician, I would do politics. That is the first big mistake people do when they become famous and they become in a certain status. Stay out of it. Just do what you do best because it doesn't look good. LeBron had long been an active critic of police brutality and the racial injustice against African Americans in the US. The basketball star has also been working to deal with radical and social injustice in the country, having actively been involved in putting together More Than a Vote movement with other black athletes to combat voter suppression in the black community. This movement was instrumental in getting more people out to vote in November's general election across the country, especially in inner city areas where access to polling places has historically been an obstacle for the residents. LeBron got deserved credit from multiple media outlets for mobilizing more than 40,000 volunteers to work at polling centers in an effort to thwart voter suppression. Moreover, the four-time NBA champion opened the I Promise School in his hometown in the summer of 2018 with a focus on educating at-risk students. The mission helps hundreds of children in Akron, Ohio with respect to affordable housing, a meal program and job training for students' families. Due to his efforts for the community off the basketball court, LeBron was named Sports Illustrated Sportsperson of the Year for an unprecedented third time in 2020. The basketball star claimed the accolade along with Naomi Osaka, Patrick Mahomes, Breanna Stewart, and Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. However, the Los Angeles Lakers star has been outspoken about non-sporting issues throughout his career and was once famously told to shut up and dribble by famous television presenter Laura Ingraham. Responding sharply to Ibrahimovic's comments after the LA Lakers win over the Portland Trail Blazers on Friday, James said that the Milan star's comments were hypocritical and he'll never shut up when it comes to raising his voice against injustice. A couple of years ago, Ibrahimovic said he was a subject of undercover racism in his native Sweden because his Bosnian roots gave him a surname that doesn't sound very Swedish. While pointing out the racism episode in which the football star was involved, LeBron pointed out that Ibrahimovic himself had used his fame and taken help from social media to complain about treatment by the media in 2018. Hence, the former Barcelona striker's career in general shows that he needs to work on his anger management, which hasn't always been the best, whether we talk about his disputes on the pitch, on the training ground, or in the dressing room. Last month, Ibrahimovic was involved in a heated clash with Inter Milan forward Romelu Lukaku during the Coppa Italia quarter-final at the San Siro. There were plenty of fireworks in the Milan derby as Ibra and Lukaku, who played together at Man United under the Portuguese tactician Jose Mourinho, were involved in a physical and verbal altercation after the Belgian striker took offence to a cynical foul by Alessio Romagnoli. Ibrahimovic, who fired home in the 31st minute to open the scoring at Stadio Giuseppe Meazza, stepped in and squared up to the furious Belgian by laughing in his face before the pair went head-to-head, which saw them both get cautioned by referee Paulo Valer. The spat between the former teammates continued even after the half-time whistle, as both the towering attackers hurled insults at each other while walking down the tunnel, and the pair had to be restrained by teammates Nicolo Barella and Fikayo Tomori on the night. Lukaku eventually came out on top in the match, as Ibrahimovic got sent off in the second half following his second yellow card on the night after a bad tackle on Alexander Kolarov from behind. In the aftermath of the clash, both players were penalised by the Football Association to serve a one-match suspension, with no bans added on for further disciplinary reasons. The clash became viral on social media, with fans eagerly trying to know what was said between the two players in the heated exchange of words ever since it was broadcast on TV screens around the globe. The words of both the strikers were picked by a pitchside microphone, with Zlatan starting the argument by calling Lukaku a donkey, to which the Belgian responded by labelling his former teammate a bitch. The 39-year-old Swede further insulted Lukaku's mother by saying, "Go do your voodoo," and that's when things started to spin out of control. Lukaku allegedly threatened to shoot Ibrahimovic while walking down the tunnel at the interval. Ibrahimovic made the voodoo comment with reference to the statement given by Everton owner Farhad Moshiri in 2018 after the Belgian forward reportedly turned down a contract extension from the Merseyside club on the advice of a voodoo message. But Lukaku, who made a staggering £80 million move to the Italian Giants from the Manchester-based club, had rejected any notion of voodooism behind his decision to leave Goodison Park at that time. Later on, the former Juve striker was accused by the fans on social media of racially abusing Lukaku, which led Zlatan to explain his stance through a message on the public platform, saying that there's no place for racism in Zlatan's world. There is no doubt that Ibrahimovic's career is full of controversies, but no one can take away what the 6'5" striker has achieved over the years. The Swede made a name in the footballing world after moving to Ajax from the Allsvenskan club Malmö, where he helped Ajax win 2 domestic titles during his 3-year stint. Ibrahimovic's reputation as one of the most exciting young talents earned him a chance to play for Juventus in 2004, where he managed to win 2 league titles, which were later chalked off as part of the verdict from the Calciopoli match-fixing scandal. Moving to Inter Milan was one of the best decisions in Ibrahimovic's career, where he managed to win back-to-back Scudettos during his 3 years at the San Siro. His last season at Milan saw him score 25 goals and set up another 7. Currently, the star striker is playing for AC Milan, who are trailing arch-rivals Inter on the league table by 4 points. Although he supported Internazionale from a very young age, Zlatan, with his ego, doesn't like it when other teams are winning. Milan were leading the league until mid-December, but then Ibra got injured, and when he came back, the Rossoneri were suffering from a slight loss of form. Eventually, Inter took advantage and are now favourites to win the Scudetto and end Juventus' dominance of almost a decade. The former PSG player remained on the sidelines after sustaining a muscle injury during their 3-1 win over Napoli on November 22nd and returned to action as a late substitute against Torino on January 10th. During his nearly 2-month-long absence, the Milan-based club struggled to extend their lead atop the league table with back-to-back draws against Parma and Genoa and dropping all 3 points in their home fixture against Juventus. Stefano Pioli's side, nevertheless, were lucky enough to retain the top spot despite losing 3-0 against Atalanta until January 23rd. At that time, Inter were trailing their city rivals with 2 points following their 0-0 draw at Udinese. However, the Nerazzurri leapfrogged Milan at the league summit on February 14th after winning their tie 3-1 against Lazio and following the Rossoneri's 2-0 humiliating defeat against Spezia on the road a day earlier. Milan had the chance to close the gap when both sides faced each other in late February. Inter came into the derby with a 1-point lead on the table above Milan. However, Pioli's men failed to take advantage of the situation after losing the tie 3-0. Milan managed to get the job done away at Roma on Sunday, scoring 1 goal in each half to secure an important 2-1 win following 2 consecutive defeats. However, they will have to operate without Ibrahimovic for at least 2 matches after the Swedish striker sustained another injury during their latest win. This means Zlatan will miss league encounters against Udinese and Hellas Verona, which come before Milan's trip to Old Trafford for the first leg of their Europa League last 16 clash on March 11th. It's kind of disappointing that we won't get to see Ibra play against some of his former teammates at Man United. However, it's still too early to conclude the season since there are plenty of games remaining until the end. Milan still have a chance to turn the tables if they can keep players like Ibrahimovic and Mario Mandzukic fit.